The finger weaving unit is what we have today. You'll notice in your bag that I've given you a set of strings already ready to go on a pencil, and I've put the strings together in a loose overhand knot just to keep them from wiggling around during transport and coming off of the stick. So you can just kind of open that up a little bit and see that all of your weaving is ready to go right there. I did that for you. You're welcome. I'm going to attach the stick to my surface with just some blue tape, just so that I can put a little bit of tension on the threads if I want to, because as any weaver will tell you, a thread under tension is a thread under control. And you'll notice as I've got them all nice and laid out that there are 8 strands. I've got yellow, non-yellow, yellow, non-yellow across the way. Some of you will have blue as your non-yellow, some of you will have red as your non-yellow, but everybody should have yellow in the number 1 position. You'll notice that the roll is over the top. We're not looking at this from the back, we're looking at it from the top. If you have yours out and this number 1 position is not yellow, you've got it upside down, turn it over. So there we are, good. I'm going to count my threads and assign a number to them. This is going to be position number 1. This is position number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Which means that I'll be able to pick up all of the even numbers, and they're all going to happen to be the same color. There's number 2, there's number 4, number 6, and number 8. I've separated them out. They all happen to be non-yellow, which is easy for our first one. But someday you may want to finger weave something that's all one color, so it's important for you to know what I just did was I picked up the even numbers across the way starting from position 1. And once I've got them up in the air, I can take the thread that's in position 1 and I can cross it over. Then everybody gets laid down again, including this guy. Now, when we were working with the cork trivet, we had some elements that were going up and down, and we had some elements that were going crosswise. And that's how we did the interlacing and how we did the weaving. The interesting thing with finger weaving is something that used to be an up and down thread for a little while became a crosswise thread. And I'll give you some new vocabulary here at this point because you're now weavers and you should know what the real weavers use for these words. Threads that go up and down and are parallel to each other and held under tension on the loom, those are called the warp threads. And any thread that goes across the warp threads, over, under, over, under, over, under, that's called the weft threads. And the funny thing with finger weaving is, most of the time the thread will be a warp thread, but occasionally it will get a chance to be a weft thread. All right, we've got everything laid back in its place, and I will repeat what I did the first time, just exactly the same. Pick up 2, 4, 6, and 8. So here's 2, 4. Oh, look, I'm getting the other color this time. And once I have lifted those, I can do a little bit of a tug, tug, tug between the 2 sets to kind of push this thread up, kind of beat him into place. And I'll do the same thing as I did before. I'll take the number 1 position, and he is going to become the weft. He's going to go across. And then everybody comes back into place, including this guy. Again, pick up 2, 4, 6, and 8. Once I've got them, I can kind of tug a little bit to push that one up in place that has just gone across. Position number 1 travels across. And everybody lays down in place, including the fellow who traveled. So that I have my 8 strands again, I'm ready for the next pass. What could go wrong in this? Well, I'm doing pretty well as long as all of the threads are staying with their color and doing exactly what they should. There's number 1 going through the space between. And let's say that I lay them down Okay, I think I see a mistake right away. I always want to see yellow, non-yellow, yellow, non-yellow, and here I have two yellows together, and here I have two non-yellows together, and that's not legal. Somebody somewhere is out of place. So I'll go through here real carefully and find out what the problem was. Now, position number 1 is good. Position number 2 is good. I'm watching up here to make sure they come out in exactly the order they should. Position number 3 is good. Position number, oh, wait a minute. Do you see what happened? These two threads got crossed up here so that the yellow was jumping the queue and wanting to be counted before his turn. He needs to come live over there and let this guy have his turn. There's number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we've got it fixed. And this guy is going to lay down. I'm now picking up my non-yellows. This technique came from the Native Americans in the Great Lakes area. They used this technique to make cloth for themselves. There's my odd number, my even numbers up. My number 1 position travels between the two. And everybody behaves themselves and lays down. There's the cloth we're making up there. And we're going to be making a cuff today with our project. He lays down to be number 8. You're working here with very thick yarn because it's the first time you've ever done any tablet weaving, and I wanted to set you up for success. You can do this with skinnier yarn. You end up with a very skinnier cuff if you start using worsted weight yarn with this. Number 1 goes through the gap, and everybody lays down. Let's make sure everybody lays down correctly. And that still looks pretty good. When we get to the end of the weaving, when we start running out of length, we will do some fringes, and I'll show you that coming up here real soon. That lays across. Tell me, does that look good? Did I do it right? I don't think so, because I don't see my bumblebee stripes here. This guy here, I think, has jumped the queue, and he actually wants to live right there. That looks better. All right, picking up the odds, the evens again. Give them a little tug, tug, tug. And this is probably the last one I'm going to be able to do before I need to make my fringe. All right, here we are. Tidy this up a little bit. Make sure that everybody has the same amount of chance to shine in the band. Now I'm ready to do the fringe. They'll work in pairs, the fringe will. So these two will work together. These two will work together. These two and these two. I'm going to concentrate. Actually, let me concentrate on these two first. You can see that if I take one strand and I can twist it one way and it gets tighter, and I can twist it the other way and it gets looser. Did you see that? Those are the plies of the yarn. And if I don't do any twisting to it at all, it just lays there nice and flat. I want to do the one where I'm going to twist it tighter. So I'm going to take it here and I'm going to roll my right thumb to the right. Did you see that? Roll the right thumb to the right, it gets tighter, and then his partner is going to go behind him. Then I'm going to twist this partner until he's tighter, and his partner is going to come behind him. I twist to make the yellow one tight, and the blue passes underneath. I twist to make the blue tight, and the yellow passes underneath. Notice that when I put that twist in there, I don't just let it go. I hold it in a pinch while the other one is coming behind so that I don't lose that work. Roll it to the right, passes under to the right, roll it to the right, passes under to the right, roll it to the right, passes under to the right, and I can do this all the way down to the very end. What this makes is a balanced strand of fringe. Now these aren't the same length, but that's okay. I can do an overhand knot that includes both of them. Make sure you get both of them in there. And then I can trim off the excess of the one that was too long. Now let's take a look at the next two. These will be my next two. Let's not get the weave lost over there. Starting again here, I will twist this one up till it's nice and tight. Pass its partner underneath to the right. Then grab him and twist him. Pass his yellow underneath to the right. Twist it up. Pass his blue underneath to the right. Twist it up. Pass his yellow underneath to the right. And around it goes. And where it stops, nobody knows. All the way down to the end. Twist it up, pass it under. Twist it up, pass it under. Twist it up, pass it under. And I am to the end of my blue, so I can take the entire strand and do an overhand knot. Scooch it down to the end of the blue. There's my second fringe. Once I've got all 4 fringes on this side, I also want to do the fringes on that side. So I can take this out now and work out the overhand knot. And look at what I've got. Does that look familiar? On the other side, I can do these fringes. Now I do want to hold this down so that I can pull on it just a little bit. I can reuse that blue tape. Starting again at this side, I'm going to twist, just like we talked about, pass his partner underneath, twist him to the right, pass under towards the right, twist and pass, and twist and pass, and twist and pass. I have a little bit more length on this side, so it's easier. Twist and pass, twist. And you see why it's nice that I have that blue tape there so that I can pull a little bit and it stays put and well behaved for me. Twist and pass. Twist tighter, pass underneath to the right. Twist tighter, pass underneath to the right. This is the way they finish rugs when they get them off the loom. They'll take the warp threads and they'll twist them with each other. It makes them last longer because people stepping on this, if it's the fringe to a rug, it's going to last, it's going to hold up better because it's got some tighter twist in it and because it has a partner to work with. So I think that's plenty long. Do an overhand knot that includes both of the strands and work it down to the end so that there's just a little pom-pommy thing at the end. And do the others as well. This is going to be a cuff for us. We can take this and tie it together when this is around our wrist. Have your mom help you if you need more than one hand for that. And underneath, twist and underneath, twist and underneath. You'll see if I have long threads, it's important that while I've got this, I've got to keep separating them out because they're going to want to get confused with each other downstream. Twist and cross and twist and underneath and twist and underneath. You can get pretty quick at this once you've had some practice. And that's going to be about the same length as my other one. I guess I want them to be the same length, so I'll stop it about there, keeping a hold of this pinch so that the work doesn't go away. And scoochy, scoochy, scooch that knot to the same length as the other one. Good enough. Now I want to make sure that I get the right ones together here in this next little bit. This was being the weft. That means that these two are the next victims, and then come these two as the last. Twist to the right, cross the partner to the right, underneath, twist to the right, cross the partner. I can also hold the pinch here. You get a lot of workout for your fingers here, don't you? But your fingers are very smart and you can train them to do this. I've seen people who weave rugs do this and they do it so fast I can barely see their fingers move. Twist and under and twist and under. How are we doing compared to the first one? We're at the right length. Overhand knot that includes both strands. Get it to be about the same length as that first one by scooching it down. Now here's our last one. Tidy up the weave here a little bit, and I'm going to actually twist the blue one first. Sorry, the non-yellow one first, because he was in a better position for me to do that, since the yellow was going to have to go underneath right away. But all of these fringes are done exactly the same way. Twist this one to the right, and the other one passes underneath to the right. That's quite a happy little blue and yellow bumblebee effect going on there, isn't it? I'm always checking it against the first one because I don't want any length drift as I go across. I always want to check all of them against the original first one. All right. I will get somebody to help me put this on and we'll get a picture of what it looks like when it's finished. And there's my lovely handmade cuff.